It is a proud week in Seneca County, folks, and I'll tell you why. Congratulations to the Romulus Lady Warriors on their first ever state title in girls basketball, and they made it a perfect season, a perfect 25-0, and it is a proud day for that small school district that's right in the central southern part of Seneca County. I mean, Romulus has been through a lot the last 20-some years, with the closing of the Seneca Army Depot, which was one of the major economic bases there around Romulus in that part of Seneca County. But I will tell you, it's been a long, hard road for Romulus. But they at least got some great joy with their girls winning that state title. I mean, there's a little bit of family history there with that little school district. For 28 years, my mother was a teacher there. She taught 3rd grade, and she taught sometimes 4th and 5th grade in her later years there out to Romulus. And I will say, many of her former students still regard her in such great standing. I haven't met one of her former students who hasn't had a bad thing to say about Mom. And you know what? That really fills me full of pride. But you know, Romulus is a great little school right in central Seneca County. And there's been some calls the last few years that because of the small size, that Romulus should merge. Of course, about a year or two ago, there was talk that Romulus should merge with their big rivals just to the south. I'm talking about South Seneca. But you know, it got voted down. What can I say? Eventually it probably might happen. Romulus and South Seneca merging. But for now, Romulus should be really proud of itself. Congratulations, Lady Warriors. Job well done. And we hope to see you maybe do it again next year. Although I hope another Seneca County school might join you. Mainly my Lady Blue Devils. Or the Blue Devils themselves. The guys coming back. But for now, Romulus, have a nice little party out there in that hamlet. And I'm going to go from joy in little Mudville, or I don't want to say Romulus is Mudville, joy to maybe a lot of concern, because you saw what happened there with the NCAA selection because of their abomination there in the ACC tournament. One for the last 15 seconds of the game, the Orange couldn't hit the side of a barn, to where the NCAA put the Orange in the South region. That could almost be called the group of death. And I mean, quote, group of death, unquote. Because let's just see what the Orange has to go through. I mean, they'll probably beat Western Michigan, the Mid-America Conference champions, in their first round game. But what lies ahead for the Orange, if they're to get to the Final Four, could be one that is extremely difficult. The NCAA didn't do the Orange any favors, because Ohio State could be lurking in round 2, and the Orange have always had trouble with the Buckeyes. They get past Ohio State or maybe Dayton. Kansas might be lurking in the Sweet 16, but Kansas is vulnerable because they're without one of their big guys. And if they get past the Jayhawks, the Elite Eight, it could be Billy Donovan in Florida waiting for us in the Elite Eight. It is going to be an extremely difficult time for the Orange. I wouldn't be surprised. I'm a huge fan of the Orange and all, but I wouldn't be surprised if they come up against Ohio State in round 2, that Ohio State could maybe bounce the Orange from the NCAA tournament. The Orange didn't do themselves any favors with their late season swoon. It may have cost them a chance to get to the Final Four. Because, I mean, had they had their focus, had they not lost those 5 games, 5 and 7, the Orange could have been a number 1 seed coming out of Buffalo. They could have been in the New York bracket. You know, the Orange could have had a nice, easy time getting to the Final Four. But whatever. The Orange made their bed, and they have to lie in it. So we'll see what happens over the next few weeks, shall we? Good luck to the Orange, because I think you're going to need it. And I'm going to go from the Orange. And it seems as though I'm going to be lamenting here. But you know, around here, yesterday just wasn't the same without a great old Seneca County tradition. For 37 years, Antonina's restaurant, run by my cousins, changed from Antonina's Italian restaurant into McDermott's Irish pub. And yesterday was the holiday that me, my family, and a lot of people in this village are proud of, St. Patrick's Day. As even though most of the people are of Italian descent, there still is that little enclave of Irishmen, which includes me, my family, the McDermotts, and others. But you know, yesterday just wasn't the same. Yeah, Chad gave that inspiring toast to all the members of the Irish community in this area, past and present. The McDermotts, the Dowds, the Hosses, all of them. It's always great to hear him talk so highly of the family that we came from. But you know, McDermott's Irish pub wasn't there. It just seemed empty. Although I will say, me wearing my father's hat was a good way to honor my father. And yes, we still had our good old corned beef, cabbage, and carrots dinner. But let's just say, I mean, I wish John and Annette the best of luck in their retirement. But you know, yesterday just seemed empty. But you know, St. Patrick's Day is a great holiday for my family. And we can keep a new tradition going. McDewey's is now the carrier for the tradition for McDermott's around here. So you know what, Dewey, I congratulate you. And let's keep it going for another 37 years, shall we? And I'll go from yesterday and St. Patrick's Day to one last thing for this week. It seems as though everybody's they're expanding the whole search area for that missing Malaysian airliner. It's been 10 days since that thing disappeared off the face of this earth, and they're no closer to finding what happened to that plane. And now they're saying it could have flown for nearly 6 hours. That plane could have flown anywhere on the Asian continent. It could have flown over Australia. It could have flown over the Asian mainland. It even could have gotten as far west, heading in a westerly direction, as far as the Horn of Africa. But they are no closer to finding what happened to that Boeing. Well, you know what I say about all the reports of that plane going missing. It's really Boeing. When can we find something exciting, shall we? Hell, how can you lose a plane? Oh, that thing's maybe a way long. And there's so many things built in to help determine the plane's location. But of course, they're saying this was a deliberate act. They're saying now it's going to be a criminal investigation. Well, you know what? Just get off your horses and find the darn thing. Even if it had gone down, find the darn thing. 239 people's families are waiting with bated breath on your word. Find the darn plane. Enough horsing around. Of course, sometimes people know Malaysian authorities can't find a fart in the wind. Oh well, that's my story for this week. And good luck to the Orange, 'cause let's just say we're gonna need it. Congratulations, Romulus.